Yo, what is up guys, JT here. This is the version 1.9 video today. We're going to be focusing on bringing you updates every 4 to 6 weeks from here on out. This is the first update in our quality of life and general fixes cycles. So let's jump straight into this video here. Enjoy. We've overhauled the placement system in the game to make placing items so much easier. Previously, every time you wanted to place something, you had to enter the inventory, select place and place each individual item. It's now possible to jump into placement mode, select the item you want to place, and all the time that you have more of that item in your inventory, you can just continue to place it. You can see here from the video clip that you can now place fortifications so much faster than before, and it removes some of the clunkiness from the placement system in general. We finally addressed the player backpacks. No more floating backpacks, no more backpacks getting caught in vehicles. It was pretty memeable, but it really did need fixing. Backpacks are now dropped to the floor when a player is killed, and when you die from within a vehicle, the backpack is placed on the outside of the vehicle so that it doesn't get caught. Weapons are also now placed inside of the backpack so that they can be easily picked up and taken. A smart lock and unlock system has also been added. Now, if you're an owner of a lock, when you unlock a door, it unlocks all of the locks. You can unlock the door and open them from one press on the handle, and this just makes using locks so much nicer overall. This also works for containers. You can walk up straight up to a container, press E on it, the locks will unlock and the container will open. When you close the container again, it'll all lock up for you. We've made a whole bunch of inventory improvements for this update as well. One little one here that you can see is that when you search inside of a vehicle or other machine, it filters your inventory to only the relevant parts that are within your inventory. This makes finding and moving parts into a machine so much simpler and removes the clutter and just makes it simpler overall. The inspect stats readout has been improved and overhauled completely. It's now much clearer and more relevant to the stats that you see in your inventory. It creates a better link between the two and it makes it easier for the player to understand and see what is wrong with their current stats. This also includes an overhaul for the weapon area that you can see down in the right hand side, and it will show you when you're low on inventory ammo or the condition, and also the clip ammo as well, which will stay on the screen based on how important it is to you. An overall critical stat system has also been added as well, which will always display to the player the most critical stat in the game. When they have a most critical stat, you can see here that a search button pops up and filters the inventory to the relevant items to improve that stat. This makes learning and understanding the stat systems within the game so much easier for new players especially, and for existing players just makes it easier to filter and find the items that you need quickly. The new critical stat system also works within the inspect menu so that you can see here the critical stat stays up on the screen so that the player can quickly identify what is wrong with their character, what their ailments are, and how they can address them very quickly. The filter system also works with this. Hit the G key and it will filter your inventory straight to the items that you need to start addressing those stats. This makes everything so much more fluid and easier to understand. Crafting systems have also had attention for this update. You can see here now that the tabs along the top are tabs as opposed to one cycling button, and that is also persistent, so that when you have the faves button selected, it will remain persistent through rejoins and means you can easily always find the craftables you're looking for. When you're searching, it now shows the full list of all the craftables in the game. Grayed out craftables also highlight now to show that you can still click on them to see what items are missing. The crafting menu also now has a nesting feature so that you can see which items are missing from your inventory when you're trying to craft an item. Click through to that item's recipe and craft it directly from that screen. Once you've crafted that item, you can click the back button to go to the original recipe. If you have all the items now, you can then go ahead and craft the original item that you wanted to craft. This just makes everything more fluid. Item harvesting has also been completely revisited for this update as well. It's now raw material based. These raw materials include wood, rags, and scrap metal. This makes the scavenging system easier to understand, and as you can see, there's also a highlight along with this now as well, which makes finding these locations that little bit easier. These raw materials can now be crafted into all of the items that you know within the crafting system, and makes understanding the scavenging system that little bit simpler because you're not getting all of the other trash items when harvesting for loot. Something that was hugely requested by the community was the scope zoom. Previously they went pixelated when you zoomed in, and there was a kind of blue flash when you fired the weapon, which meant they weren't very practical and didn't give the player much advantage when you've gone through the effort of finding a scope, doing a POI, or however you come across it, we really want to reward the player and make them as functional as possible. They no longer pixelate and they no longer have that blue effect, which makes them so much more usable and fun to use overall. Something that we knew we wanted to address with this update was the switching of melee when you've got a gun in your hand. There's plenty of scenarios in the game where you have a weapon, you want to be using a weapon, but you'll need to switch to melee to finish off a zombie or just generally not use up your ammo. There's plenty of scenarios where that happens. So we've made weapon switching so much easier, but we've also added melee to weapons as well. It's now possible to fire a couple of shots into a zombie and then finish him off with the butt of your gun so that you're not wasting your ammo. This will get you out of some serious sticky situations. I'm going to leave this video here, guys, but seriously check out our weekly updates from JB if you want to get the nitty-gritty of what we've been doing. These videos really only cover the surface. There's so many things week to week. JB's been shown what we've been doing, and you can find everything in those updates. I will catch you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.